Looks like this is going to be the main debate that a lot of individuals are going to talk about within the next week or so. And considering the other topics in which the manosphere is talked about, this is actually something more on a light note. So I don't mind talking about this, especially since I'm probably one of the individuals who will be on the contrary side. Oh, contraire. I'm not being contraire for the sake of being contraire, but this is something I honestly believe. And what is that? Well, I'll preface it with saying this. Shout out to Yoshi Duke Jackson, C Boogie Productions, and my Snow Bunny co-host Solo TV84, who I'll probably end up having a debate about this coming Sunday. The link will be down below, nonetheless, in which they were discussing if code approaching makes you a simp. All three of them decided to mega sword up on this one and basically stating no, code approaching doesn't make you a simp. But what I got from that hangout was that not only does code approaching not make you a simp, but it's the most optimal way of getting what we want. And yes, a lot of us out there want what we want. I'm not going to even go into it. I'm not going to entertain you too cool for school dudes who are like, no, I'm going my own way and, screw that mission. I'm going to go bot it. I can't even do it right now. The GoBots have been quite silent as of late. Hell, even Obsidians call out the GoBots as of late, if you haven't noticed. Now, I won't go as far to say that if you code approach that you're lame, that you're beta, etc. I won't go that far, particularly if you use it wisely. However, in my personal opinion, code approaching, while useful, isn't the most effective way of getting what you want. And quite frankly, rampant code approaching is highly overrated in my opinion. Why do you ask? Well, I'll go down some of the reasons. For starters, a lot of you all talk about the quality of chicks online and how they're oh my goodness, they're trash. If you meet someone online, they're only worth a pump and dump. They're only worth a pump and dump. So tell me how the quality of the chicks that you've approached worked out. Tell me that. Because the quality isn't that much better. I've seen these individuals who have claimed that code approaching is the number one way to get chicks. And when you tell them to pull up the receipts, well, majority of them don't even do it. And those who do, or those who unintentionally show their can, a lot of them aren't working with anything much better than what you could get online. Let's just call down the line. As far as that's concerned, I know where a lot of these dudes are code approaching these chicks at, which we'll get to in a minute, but looking at the quality, well, looking at the preference, it's no wonder why I find code approaching to be overrated. If the decision is going after mediocre chicks online versus mediocre chicks, well, getting up, getting dressed, not to go to a formal event or to a friend's party or something like that, no, but to stand in line, pay $20 at the door, pay $40 for drinks, and approach and holler like a holler monster, like one of those dude bro, hey, I'm at the club, look at me, I'm popular. And if you do get some attention, you have these females expecting you. They feel entitled for you to be a dancing monkey. And then leave with empty balls with a few numbers of chicks who would just give you the ring around and be like, I don't remember you. Or give you one-word answers. Or just ghost on you. If you have the option of dealing with that versus going online and having the same crap, just come on. You know what I'm going to say. As far as day game, well, yeah, chicks are better just by default. I'll give you that. But the average person, including the code approach proponents, usually only have about, 2 days per week to do that real effective day game stuff. Not unless they don't want to make money. I'm just saying. And I'm not talking about people who have 9 to 5s neither, let's be honest. Individuals who are really on their purpose, let's just call it down the line, they have less time to do the day game of code approaching. Let's be serious. Man, look, second point. As I said, a lot of individuals do the emphasis on the night game too much. where a lot of individuals are free, including a lot of these code approach guys. They'll tell you that, well, you gotta go holler and do this and jump through hoops and do that. And when you do your version of code approaching, which basically can sum up to having a conversation with a chick in an art gallery, or while shopping at the grocery store, or while just chilling at the park, these same individuals, and I'm not talking about the 3 dudes who were on the hangout, but you have wise asses who would say, well, man, that ain't code approaching. You need code approach. You need to be like, hey, baby, look at me. A lot of these people, at the very least, have ruined what it means to code approach. Because from what I've seen, especially in the 2000s up to today, code approaching just puts you in the position of weakness, which is my third point. A lot of individuals talk about, well, I'm red pill when it comes to not paying these chicks for drinks and not paying for first meal dinners, and you gotta be a part of my program and do all this kind of stuff. When you approach a chick, a code approach, particularly if she's in the middle of doing something, you are abiding by her program. You are entering into her world, and you are subsequently playing by her rules. Now, we all know how certain individuals, not all females, but how a lot of these females are these days, when it comes to individuals, particularly men, who submit themselves to the point in which they subconsciously state that the female is better than the male. That I want to be a part of your world. I want to bow to your grace, your majesty. And a lot of the code approaching that's done today, especially by the code approach apologists and defenders, shows weakness. It shows beta-ness. I have to shout out Stefan Klinkscales on this. He's one of the newer guys and he gets it. Code approaching, particularly rampant code approaching throughout the club, here and there and everywhere, that's showing that besides the fact that you have no life, that also shows that you want to play by her rules. And when you play by certain females' rules, we all know this is another red pill truth that a lot of people don't talk about for some reason. When you want to play her game, she makes the rules. And a lot of these individuals, a lot of these kind of females, not all, but a lot of them, they will make the rules to the point of it being frustrating for you. Now, most men, whether because how we were raised or how we appreciate women who submit, a lot of us, particularly when you have women approaching us, we don't punish them for that. As a matter of fact, we reward them for that. That's one of the differences between men and women. Not all, but just a general rule. Also, no other race does this to the extreme. I'm just going to have to keep it honest. Black men are the only ones who are about, well, I need a code approach to get the women I want and the women I need and women I like. Every other race does not have to do this. Coming from an individual who has hung around many individuals of multiple races, they help each other. Whether it's within their own race or whether you have a biracial, multiracial collaboration in which you have white, Latino, Asian, Indian, Middle Eastern friends who will help each other get the kind of women they want. Whether it's in the direct way by, being the wingman, which used to be a good skill that a lot of men had until about the 2010s, when a lot of guys started becoming more feminine, not even in the good kind of way, just becoming more, I hate to say this, more bitch-made and trying to cut each other's legs off in order just to get a little advantage when it comes to sniffing the fat. I mean, we see the rise of the white knights on the left and the BBC wolf tellers on the right, and we've seen the result of it. Men now are having a harder time getting what we want more than our fathers did, more than our grandfathers did. And by the way, our grandfathers, not necessarily our fathers, unfortunately, but the grandfathers, great-grandfathers, a lot of them were too busy to play sophomorish game of approaching every chick that was halfway decent because we didn't know when we would see a good one again. Which, by the way, speaks to the quality of the American female that we have today. Granted, American males aren't that much better, so it's an indictment on both sides. I mean, this code approach and stuff just goes to show how we've became weak as a nation of men as a whole. But when it comes to the femininity and looks of the female, I mean, we can go into that as well. That just goes to show the scarcity mindset that we have as men in this country. Ask how many white guys had to cold approach chicks who they're with. And I'm talking about the ones who are with the bad white chicks. Ask them how they really met. Ask these Latino or Middle Eastern guys or Asian dudes on how they met the bad chicks that they're with, or at the very least cute chicks. So really ask them. And especially if you're looking at some interracial couples like this white dude and Asian chick combination, or some white and Latina combinations, ask them if they really had the cold approach the women. Or was it at the very least that the women gave them choosing signals like smiling, talking with them, sitting right beside them, asking them the most random questions like how you change a tire in the middle of a cafe shop. I mean, really? Ask them how many cold approaches they had to do to get the women they're with. Compared to the mediocre Negro, compared to black men in general. Man, why can't we have nice things? As far as the indirect way on how men can improve their dating lives. A lot of men, quite frankly, real men, are focusing in on themselves, are focusing on their own purpose, are building. You gotta build. Like how the pro-whack, that one pro-whack talks about, or at least he used to talk about how you guys gotta build. You gotta build. Build for the community. Build for the Scraggle Daggle. Build for Pookie and Rary. Build for those babies kids. You gotta build. And the pro-whack, he has it halfway right. You have to build. Build for yourself. You see? Yeah, like painless. You see? Oh, look, you got to build for yourself internally. You got to invest in yourself internally. And a lot of these individuals, a lot of these other races, they know when to party, they know when to build. Problem is, this mediocre Negro doesn't know which from what, and they end up partying when they need to be building and code approaching when they need to party. Because, in my honest opinion, yeah, there's a time to party, there's a time to relax, there's a time to let your hair down. But as far as that's concerned, when I want to relax, I don't want to do more work. And going after this female, and that female, and the third female, that's work. You all end up working when you should be partying. Going after and chasing and, hey baby, all this other swag crap. I hope you guys are realizing that swag doesn't pay the bills. I mean, this is something that even Helen Keller could see, in that you build in order to get the women to come to you. Even if it's not with them code approaching you, showing choosing signals, warm approaches, etc. Them, at the very least, even if you do code approach, respecting your authority to the point in which the rejections you do get are warm rejections, soft rejections. You're cute, but I got a boyfriend. You know, you're cute and all, you're brave and all, but you know, I'm married, or I'm on my honeymoon, or she's on her honeymoon and she's hanging out. Anyway, it's that time of the month, but I'll hit you up later. I mean, that's a warm approach. I know that last one was graphic, but that's a warm approach compared to. And a lot of these code approach defenders and apologists and advocates don't want to talk about how a lot of the code approaches, they don't end up pretty. You have a lot of them like, boy, what are you gonna talk to me for? Boy, get out my face, get out my face, get out my. Especially with what these guys approach. What? Not even who, but what these guys approach, or even on the non-ADO side, it's like, you offend me with this, wasting my time. I am going to call the cops and embarrass you on the front of the Reddit post. I am going to slander your name all over Reddit and Tumblr and BuzzFeed and the Huffington Post. Well, check this out. You can reduce all of that. Even if you don't reduce rejection rate, you can reduce the scarring rejection rates by doing this one thing. And this is what every other race of men do. And that is investing in yourself as leverage. And this ties to my last point of using all that time you're cold approaching and macking and doing all this swag and stuff towards better use. Using that time towards things that build up you. Not building up these other chicks' egos. Not going about, yeah, baby, hey, I want A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. The force will be with you always. Look, no. Instead of doing all that yo stuff, instead of doing all these silly hat tricks that mystery has taught a generation of men, or, yeah, I guess you want to call them men. Look, invest in yourself. Instead of going to the club every Friday, Saturday night, go to the freaking gym. Burn that weight. Burn that fat. Be ripped, be cut, be lean. So that you can build that sex appeal, that raw sex appeal that will attract women to you and that will make your code approach, if you decide to do that, a lot easier. Along with reducing the rejection rates and making the actual rejection warmer. You see where I'm getting? I'm not completely against code approaching in the sense of staying to yourself, being on the wall all throughout the night if you do go out. But we have to play the game tactically and with strategy. We can't just go on ahead and spray fire, aim fire, random ass fire like you're playing Modern Warfare 4 or Black Ops 5. We have to do this strategically. If you're code approaching every hot chick you see, it's going to be a waste of time. It's like not putting that silencer or that red dot sight on. Come on. Put in your studies too, man. It does not kill you if you study on a Friday or Saturday night. You stay in, not even staying in, but particularly if you go to college, right? If you go to the university, go to the library, one of those 24-hour libraries, or form a study group and study. Trust me, you will see chicks as banking as the chicks you see in this screen, if not even banging her. Banging her, more banging, whatever. And these chicks, do you think they want to be studying at the freaking library at 2 a.m., maybe 10 p.m.? But 2 a.m., if you have a little bit of charisma and some game where it counts in the arena, in that queen size, or if you're in college, maybe twin or full size arena, as long as you can perform in the arena, man, look, now you don't have to go to the club with your boys and cold approach and that sweaty ass nightclub or even bar. By the time your boys get home, either empty-handed or with some broads they had to spit game with and do all these backflips, 1080 no-scope backflips. They had to do all that just to bring in some chicks that have already been ran through. You are in the middle, worst case scenario, you're taking a break from digging that cute chick's guts out. That is tactical game. Or focus on your hustle, your second job, your third job if you have it, whatever. Especially if you own your own business. I mean, when everyone else is partying, you go on ahead and focus on what you need to. Even during the daytime, a lot of individuals who have it the easy way, they aren't worried about code approaching every halfway decent chick they see. Their focus is on their purpose. Shout out to AMS. It's not that complicated. You guys will put in all this effort into code approaching, but you guys will not put yourself in a position in which you will be code approach. And a lot of people say, well, it doesn't have warm approaching and choosing signals. That happens like Haley's Comet. That happens every 15 years, given that it's not a leap year. No. If you're not getting choosing signals, warm approaches, at the very least once a week, and I'm talking about dudes who are busy, not dudes who are code pro, blah, blah, blah. If you aren't getting choosing signals at least once, a few times a week, then that's a sign right there that you really need to work on yourself. You really need to put some sort of investment into yourself, whether it's getting your mind right, your body right, your overhead low, your savings high. Shout out to Nagone. Invest in yourself. Put the money into yourself, even if it means buying a $300 suit and $60 jeans and another $300 pair of shoes. Look, that is a better form of tricking than trying to trick, worse than money, tricking your time away. That's what code approaching is, or at least that's what it's been reduced down to. You're tricking your time away. On what? Stuff that you'll end up facing anyway if you did social circle game. Probably not social circle game. That's the thing. Black men don't do social game unless you fit into the stereotype of nah means and all that kind of thing. If you do the Negro script, yeah, you can get a social circle, and even then that'll come with some sort of hood ass or pseudo hood ass trauma because black people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Anyway. Have we all forgotten the mantra of how you can lose money by chasing chicks, but you will almost never lose chicks by chasing money? Have we all forgotten about that all of a sudden? Code approaching, it's overrated. Invest in yourself, use that as a leverage. And before I go, a lot of people say, well, if you invest in yourself, a woman's just going to go after you as a trick. They're going to go after you as a trick. You're going to be a beta bucks. And nothing worse than being a beta bucks. Au contraire. Hold on. Who said we are investing in ourselves in order to give the money back? In order to spend and trick on a woman financially? No. I do not advocate that at all. I'd rather you code approaching me a hollow monster than to build your money and be a good man. I'm a good educated man and the women should want me, and if they don't want me, I'll spend it. I'll spend enough money to make them want me. I'll spend my way to love. No, I'd rather you code approach than to go down the beta bucks, educated, you know what lane of trying to get chicks. Oh my, no. We use what we gain as leverage to have the women look our way. And when we do, that is when you put on your game. That is when you ramp it up. Or slowly or gradually or rapidly, depending on which scenario you're in. That is when you put on your dom game. That is when you put the performance on. This is all about going halfway. Life works best in the way in which you put your part in the effort and the other individuals put their part in the effort. If you have enough discipline, work, determination, and grit in order to ooze sexual charisma to look like you can tear it down, and yeah, the mouthpiece would work, but also to make sure that everything else is covered in your life, that you have your own place, that you have your own car, that you have a solid job, then the world will do its part to deliver to you what you want. That is true synergy. Now, I know some people call that entitled, but it's whatever. You put your work in. I'm not talking about those who are like, well, I'm a nice guy, so, date me. No. You have to put in your work when it comes to getting these chicks. I'll say that. But if you invest in yourself, you get the warm approach, you get the choosing signals, then capitalize on that. As far as code approaching is concerned, I'm not completely against it, despite me being an opponent of it throughout this entire video. But in all honesty, code approach in your arsenal should be, at best, a secondary weapon. Everyone else out there, always bet on X.